is half of our life is dark.
Right.
Half of our time is dark. You know, the sun is at the other side.
Yeah.
Right? So look what happens. When our mind listens to music, it does not protect, it does not educate, it only entertains. So there the mind flourishes. It shows up, comes out, it says, let's find out what it is. You see, it has nothing better to do. And that's why when we listen to music, really, we're relaxed. We don't have a strained thought and try to listen to music. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, you have to get. I mean, I think that if you are stressed, you're not listening to the music. You could have music on in the background,
yes,
but you're not listening to it. Yeah, the second that you let it take you away,
the minute you pick up the guitar and you're about to play first, in order to play, remember, we don't play, we think hard. In order to print information on your printer that you call guitar or any instrument in that manner, you have to think. Myself, when I print anything that I do, I don't know if you like it or not, but for me to like it, I have to think. There is nothing I can do unless I really get very involved. So anybody who wishes to play music and thinks it's going to be easy, give it up. Sell your guitars and instruments. Buy something else. But don't keep the instruments unless you intend to get involved. So the mental involvement with the music is purely entertaining, and it does great goods to us. That's why all of the musicians are happy when they play, because it entertains us, right? Now let's go back to 5 and 7. 5 does not divide 12, presents our mind with a very difficult question. How do you proportion 5 within 12? The actual mathematical answer is 2.4. It's impossible for the brain to catch it.
Right.
We can do it on paper, but not when the sound is on. So the 2.4 is impossible to understand. By the way, the 7 is 1.7. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
If 2.4 is hard, the 1.7 is even harder to understand.
Right.
You know. So look what happens. For anybody who wishes to play, they have to know the secrets of our brain. They have to know what our brain likes. And now, just so that I give you practical advice, so you have to know the 5s you intend to use to entertain yourself and your crowd, or your friends and relatives. So don't just pick up a record and try to imitate what is in that song, because you find out that most records sound the same. The reason being, there are about 100 different patterns that behave in the pentatonic mode, which means you can choose 5 different notes in 12, at least 100 times. You can choose way more, but in echometrical standards, there's 100 of them. Last week we did 5 of them. We're going to do them quick right now, and they happen to be right here on this beautiful board. And right there on the board right now, we have the pentatonic minor, and we said that it is 1, 4, 6, 8, and 11. This is a good beginning for anybody who's beginning to play guitar, or anybody who has done this forever, but didn't know that this has an actual mathematical identity that is very simple, 4, 6, 8, 11. When you do that, because the 1, 4, 8 is the base for the melancholic sound, that being included in the pentatonic identity, your mind will get melancholics. So when you do this, it will always make you sad. It will make you purely blue. melancholic. So if you want to get out of the sadness and you want to impress your audience in a happier mood, you have to jump onto this one, the red one. You see, this has within it the number of the major chord, which is 158. Sounds like this. We have as you see, they're distinctively different. So I'm asking you to join me to understand that it's not your fingers who do the playing. It's your mind that has to think before you play. Now, these are 2 out of the 5. As you'll notice, the other 3, when you look at them, they have 2 different colors. If I play this particular one that says 1, 3, 6, 8, 11, it's going to sound slightly different than the other 2. Listen to that one. 1, 3, 6, 8, 11. Different. We had minor. We had major. We call this ambiguous because it has 2 suggestions. It suggests both colors, and that's why both colors are on the map. That's why I suggest that you follow a commentary. This map will never change for the rest of your life. It will always be there. I will do the next one. If you notice, the next one has got 2 colors. It has the green and the blue color. That suggests that as a chord, you can have both, either blue or green. And this is the sound over it. Last but not least, you find out there is one more that has 2 sounds. This, in our terms, we call it hypodorian because it lives right under the Dorian scale. And it sounds like this. Was a taste of pentatonics. There is way more pentatonics. I'm going to give you a little bit of a taste. This one, you call it the blues scale. It happens to be a pentatonic that lives at the absence of a harmonic minor scale. So you have to learn a different sound cell that is part of the echometrical system that we call it a harmonic scale. I'm going to play you one more that you're going to enjoy very much, and happens to be the pentatonic that comes out of a melodic minor scale. It sounds like this. And the last but not least is this one. And this, I gave you, how many? 7 pentatonics. there is 93 more. Don't make me do it right now. You're going to get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe you that they're all there. So go ahead and do them real quick. All 98. No, I'm just joking.
Actually,
no.
in order, just so that you know, in order to produce a lot of pentatonics, you really have to have something in front of you. There is no human brain that will compute all the scales that you can do instantly. But I have a system where you can put the pentatonic in front of you and instantly you just read whatever. You see, when I see this, I read the information. And that's what echometry will do for you. Now, just so that you know, when you play music, you're only using your ears and you're desperately trying to look at your fingers while they're playing. Don't. It doesn't help. By looking at the information on an echometrical page, what you see is what you ask your fingers to do. It is as good as when somebody's typing from a piece of paper. You notice how much easier it is for us to write something if it's typed next to us?
You know what I've noticed in my studies is that when I look down, it throws me off. Because if I just think of it as the positions in my hand and read the circle, then I go. But if I look down and I'm actually not on the fret I thought I was on,
yes,
and everything could be correct and in sync and everything's working right because I'm playing everything correctly, because, you know, I kind of know how far it is from here to here. And I look down and then that's when I mess up because it's like I'm suddenly going, oh, I shouldn't be here. I start questioning it instead of just going with the cursor.
Sadly, like I said, when you're looking at your fingers when you play, there's nothing to look at.
Yeah.
Unless your knowledge of music is so limited that you keep repeating yourself forever. I forgot to tell everyone that in my I have a job, and my job is a music store. I have a music store for the last 24 years. Can you imagine how many people I have seen on an everyday life that call themselves musicians?
Yeah.
Which is a great word, but the depth is not there. So everybody comes, picks up the guitar, and most of the times they're going to play the same exact thing that the previous person did the day before, the week before, the month before.
See, I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think they are musicians because they're only guided by the muses. They're not really actually guided by any knowledge.
Actually, yes,
they aren't ecometrists. They're musicians because they're under the influence of a delusional concept.
So anyway, in order to make this a little bit more practical, I'm going to give you a little bit of a concept. You could ask me, what do you do when you play? Remember, I have to compute the information in my head first. So I'm going to see a beautiful, simple thing. I'm going to see a beautiful...
Okay. Before you start going into a beautiful, marvelous thing, which I know you're just about to bust into, I'll let you warm up. I'll give you a minute to warm up because we got to go to a quick commercial, and then we'll be right back. So you all just stick around, and we'll be right back for more.
Connectivity Solutions is a full-service, fully licensed, bonded, and insured communications connectivity company offering services to business and residential customers. We specialize